Welcome to Just the Two of Us Homestead. We are Colleen and Frank, and we live in the perfect size homestead just for us in southwestern Quebec. Gardening, growing food, and preserving is one of our passions. And our barn animals, we love them so much, they're just like pets. And we're so fortunate to be able to live our lives as we do. Each and every day is a blessing. Hi, everybody. Today we're finally putting up the fence around the garden. And in full disclosure, we had a really strong young man who's a friend of ours. He came yesterday and put all the T-posts in for us. And I kid you not, in the time that it took me to make him a pan of brownies, he put in, I think there's 30 T-posts. In that amount of time, he came with one of the T-post things that you bang them in with, and he put them all in less than 45 minutes, which was a huge save for us. We were so appreciative. So we're just going around with the chicken wire today. We cheated and did a bit off camera because we didn't want to totally embarrass ourselves in front of you until we got into the swing of what we're doing. It's not going to look perfect. It's not going to look pretty, but it'll get the job done of keeping the chickens out and hopefully other animals out. And it's really humid today. We had snow like 4 days ago, and I'm all pasty white, so I'm sorry about that. But it's really warm, and I overheat at the best of times. So I'm going to turn off my mic because otherwise you'll hear me moan and groan. And we'll just get to it and see how far we get today. So I'm really excited because then I can finally start gardening.
They're enjoying that.
Norma's just going to town in that bed. Edit that out because then your voice will carry. When is this thing going to get lighter?
I can imagine it really will. Hold on, I'm gonna lift it. So, pull it from the top like that.
I'll just lay this down here. Is that okay? We can be inside.
You know how many times it's been outside and rained on?
Well, it's starting to rain and I'm kind of happy about it. We're not quite halfway done, but close to it. And we got a really late start to the day. It's almost close to supper time. So I'm kind of happy it's raining because that's about all we can do for today. Welcome back to day 3 of the fence build. It's actually day 4 because yesterday we went and bought the gate and we ran out of fencing because someone went by his measurements and not mine because I knew we needed more. But anyway, we had to go get the gate anyway. So we're going to finish off. We just have a little section over there to do and put the gate in. And today, hopefully, will be the last day that all the animals can get into the garden. I can uncover my garlic and finally start working on this long overdue getting the garden ready because I'm way behind in getting things in and it's a holy mess. So let's get going and we'll see how far we get. I may have to do a wardrobe change again because it goes from cool to hot and we'll see. And Crackers is serenading us as usual.
Kind of just alright, this will be fine. Right.
The very last piece or part than just the gate. So the chicken wire is all done, all the way around. Now we just have to put the gate on, and the chickens and ducks and the geese they sometimes come in too can no longer come in. Yeah, but then animals can get in.
No, no, they won't. Here, give it some slack so I can pound this. Like that. That's good. It doesn't matter, there's a little gap there. A little bit higher, but it'll work.
Yeah, but if we put it any higher, they'll dig to go under, no?
True.
Yeah, so you just lift it, see? So what's the point of this pole then?
Well, we could use that as because if you use one of these, you're not going to be able to put the clip through it.
Oh, yeah.
That's why. But you can't put it through the thing. You have to leave it on the outside. So.
All right, so hammer this in.
In or out, you want. Probably.
So this is what we're using for the gate. It's actually like I can't think of what it's called. What you would make pens with. We got it at Runnings, and I don't know if that's a chain of stores that's common everywhere. It's like a Tractor Supply, but it's even cheaper, and they have such a variety of things. We go to the one in Malone, New York, and there's a Tractor Supply there too. But lately, we've been going more to Runnings. They have a bigger variety of things, and they are way cheaper. So this is a thing that you would make animal pens out of with these. I can't take them out now because we already hammered them in. So we only bought the one because we just wanted, like, sorry, I'm not even demonstrating it well, to use it as a gate that opens out and just a latch here. But we like it so much, and we left the opening big enough that we could bring the wheelbarrow in, the ride on, everything. So we were just going to put like another T-post and chicken wire, but I think we're going to go get another panel like this, and then obviously it'll be centered to the garden and it'll look a lot nicer. And that way, if we ever need to bring something big in, we just have to remove this little pole. So temporarily, we're just going to put these plastic posts in and put chicken wire just to keep the animals out. And then we'll go get another gate thing like this, and it'll look nice and it'll be very functional. So I'm really happy with it. I just can't demonstrate it very well to you right now. Oh, there we go. Perfect. I just wanted to give you guys a fox update. We thought he was long gone because we hadn't seen him in quite a few days. And after I heard those gunshots, that's when we hadn't seen him for days and days. So on day 2 of us working on the fence, we let the chickens free range. They were all in here with us, thankfully. And can you see the steps to my front? Can you see the steps to my front? My front steps to my house? Well, we were literally right around this area, and then the rooster started doing their danger call, and they all became statues, and then they ran into the corral like fast as could be. And I looked up, and the fox was sitting, just sitting like a dog on my front steps. I couldn't believe it. And he or she is huge. So Frank came out of the garden. We couldn't like run across at this point because we had most of the garden enclosed. So he ran out of the garden and started going on after the fox. And he just trotted himself across the driveway, the road to across the field. So again, we have, and we still have, the chickens are either locked up in the corral when we're not here. If we have to leave to go out, they get locked up in the barn, and we still keep the live trap out, and nothing's happened. So He's still around, but I just can't get over how bold and brazen. And he was just sitting there. It's not like he was ready to go after anyone. Like a dog, he was sitting on the front steps and he was not afraid of Frank at all. He just like took his time walking to the field. So he's still around, unfortunately. The moment I have been waiting for well over a month is to uncover my poor garlic, because the chickens would just dig away at it. And I mainly planted elephant garlic, very expensive elephant garlic. I know I had just another hardneck variety, and not a lot of it came up. It's my first real peek at it. There's a few holes where it should be. That's a bit disappointing. And the other hardneck variety, I don't know the name of it. I just use what I grew last year and I just keep using it. And that seemed to come up beautifully. I don't mind keeping like a bit of the straw in here as mulch, but I put quite a bit for the winter. I'll take some of it out. So there's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 7, 8 places the elephant garlic didn't come up. That's okay. I just hate wasting the real estate in the beds when something doesn't come up. All right, we're going to go inside and have a bit of lunch. And then when we come out, I'm going to show you all the fence and all the things we have to do to get this garden ready. The fence is not perfect by any means whatsoever. We did the best we could, but it's going to do its job. It's mainly to keep our animals out, hopefully a few wild animals out, and that's all it's supposed to do. Frank worked the hardest. I only really held fence up here and there. He was the one doing all the hard physical labor, and our friend who did all the poles for us. Well, the good news is the fence worked, because while we were inside for lunch, no chickens or ducks got into the garden. So that's great. And the bad news is that there's so much work to do. So I don't really know where to start. In the background, you could see while we were working on the fence how rough things look. Partly that's because we never put the garden to bed properly in the fall. Partly because the chicken and the ducks have had the run of the place. And part of it's due to Mother Nature, because a lot of the fabric has come up. And most of the fabric that's come up is fabric that we laid 2 years ago. So I'm surprised if it didn't come up last year. Why did it come up this year? But anyway, there's lots to do. And honestly, I'm not sure where to start, because the next few days, it's supposed to like rain lots, like rain that we should have probably built an ark. And I don't know if I should get some seeds in, but then they might get rained on too much. Should I just tidy? I really don't know what to do. So I'm just gonna like putter around a bit and see where that leads me. So here's the big mess. It's where all the fabric came up. Frank's fixing part of it now, but all the beds are yucky. The pathways are yucky. This is my herb garden and some weeds. I'm good at growing those. This is oregano down there, and lemon balm and chives. And I don't think my thyme overwintered this year, which is a shame, but I've got about 4,000 plants in the house. So, and this is lemon balm. And here's my garlic that didn't seem to do quite so good. So over there is where a good bulk of our potatoes go. And then this year, I'm also growing them all along this fence line. So here's the view from this side. Lots to do. At the back of the garden here, we have 7 blueberry plants. We try and keep adding every year, but I think we forgot to last year. And they didn't do well. And it's mainly because they weren't kept weeded. And this year, I want to put the fabric around them, give them a bit of breathing room, put some mulch because there are buds on them. They're loaded with buds, and I want them to do well. So that's just another thing to put on the list. But they don't like weeds, and the weeds got really bad last year, and there's no reason for them to not do well. I had to come inside, and I feel so bad for Frank. He's still out there working, but I'm this close to tears. I'm in so much pain. And I often get asked, why do I do this if it causes so much pain? And the thing is, I do enjoy it. I love gardening. It's a true passion. But I don't like this part of the gardening, and I never have. Even when I was younger and in perfect health, I never liked the prep part. Never, ever, ever. And even this is even to me beyond prep, like doing the fence and how bad the garden looks right now. I don't mind amending beds, but this is like above and beyond. And I feel bad because Frank's out there still working, and I'm done. Plus, it's getting really warm. We go from cold to hot, there's no in between. And I have a really hard time. I can't even think. Um, it's very hard for me to regulate my body temperature. So when it's extreme like that, I I almost feel like turning on the air, but Frank would have a fit because he's always cold. Anyway, so that's why I do it, because it's good for my mental health. It is good for me physically to be doing something, not necessarily that, but it's good for me to do something. It's good for me to look forward to doing things. I love gardening. There's more pluses for me to do it than to not do it. This is just a little bit excessive right now doing this stuff, but, and also right now I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed with, um, like, I know I should be planting carrot seeds, getting lettuce in, filling my grow bags, preparing the beds, getting my brassicas in. I have all these things going through my head. And what I really have to do right now is take a breath, step back, make a list. And also, like I mentioned earlier, it's going to rain really hard for the next few days. And I still have stuff to plant indoors. I haven't started any of my squashes, cucumbers, anything like that. I have buckets of dirt here that I still have to get to planting those. So I have to just take a breath, make a list, set a priority of what I have to do. And hopefully that'll keep me focused on the priority things. And I know I'm not making any sense because I'm just too distracted in pain and fatigue right now. But thanks for coming along on the fence build. I know it wasn't always pretty, but it got the job done. So thanks for spending time with us. And until we're together again, take care.